Welcome back to the Morgan Trials. Today we're going to do something a little different as we're going into the new year. It's time for champagne and sparkling and all that good stuff. A lot of people sit there and say they don't like champagne, they don't like sparkling wine, but they like wine. Well, let me go ahead and tell you, if you like wine, there's a sparkling wine out there that you're going to love. As we go into this, I just want to tell you, all the wine that you're going to see, they're all wines I represent in my daily jobby job. But with that said, there's no sponsorship, there's no endorsement, no anything. It just so happens to be the wine I know. I'm a certified specialist of wine, so I know a little bit about this stuff. And these brands, I know a little bit more than any of the others. So with that said, we're going to talk about how to drink the wine, how to open the wine, what the different wines are, and how do they taste in a mimosa. So with that started, you're also going to see I like wine she doesn't like and vice versa. So there's probably a wine for you. With that said, all right, let's get started. All right, so the first wine that we're going to start with is J. Cuvee 20. This is a nice Cuvee. This is probably the driest wine we're going to taste tonight. It's also probably the best wine we're going to taste tonight, but it's all a matter of preference. As you'll see with any sparkling wine, there's a little tab usually right here that when you pull it, it'll open up and allow you to take the seal off of the wine to open it up. You then end up with the capsule up here, which is generally in a small wire cage that you'll twist. And as you twist it, it'll then come off of the cork. Unless you open it good enough, it'll come off of the cork and you're left with an exposed cork. Best thing you could do is put your hand over it and knead it side to side until it comes up and you'll get the little bit of foam come up.
Don't saber, okay?
Do not saber your wine.
Too many people ruin the bottle sabering wrong.
I will tell you, the bottom of the bottle has what's called a punt. You can put your finger in there. Pour it into a champagne flute instead of a wine glass or something like that. It really
or a red solo cup.
Or a red solo cup. Because what it'll do is it lets the bubbles escape and breathe. And that's the whole point, is to get all the beautiful little bubbles that are in the glass. Okay, so with the J. Cuvee 20, take a sniff just like you do a wine. You smell it to savor it. You clink it. And you sip. This is a very dry wine, but it's a very good wine.
It's a really good wine, though.
You can see the bubbles are really, really tiny in there. That's a good thing. All right. And this is, when you taste it, though, you taste it's very dry. This is almost like drinking I would say close to like a Pinot Grigio. The amount of dryness you get in a Pinot Grigio, maybe a Sauvignon Blanc, but with a little bit of bubbles.
We had this with halibut.
Yes.
It was very good with halibut.
Yes. This is a great champagne. If you get a chance, we actually have a property called the Bubble Room where you go drink J in the Bubble Room out in Sonoma. Amazing if you ever make your way out there. All right. Now we're going to drink a mimosa with the J. Cuvee 20. Personally, I think it's a little too expensive of a bubbly to be drinking with mimosa, but it's probably pretty good.
There's nothing ever too expensive.
That's good.
Very smooth.
Yeah. There's no bite to it. That's really good.
It's really amazing.
By the way, when you make a mimosa, my suggestion, use a orange juice without pulp. Use a natural orange juice, not from concentrate. And if you can get one that's all natural, generally you can also get some, like we're using Florida natural orange juice. It almost has like a taste, like it's almost got a little pineapple in there, which gives it a little sweetness and a little extra fruity flavor, not pure citrus. It's kind of one of the best recommended to make a mimosa with.
That one's really good.
And just so you know, this usually runs, this is a little bit nicer bottle. This one runs about $35-ish, I think. You can find the California Cuvee, very similar, very nice, for about $10 less than that. So you can find this at most nice wine stores. Next up, we have Dark Horse Brut. This is one of our newer offerings. We have a canned version of this, believe it or not, that just got rated the #2 wine in the wine value in the United States. So, pretty good bottle. You can find this at most stores for probably $10, $12. So, if you look for it, beautiful bottle. So, Brut is going to be a little less dry than what you would think of as even champagne. Non-vintage champagne, which is what you think of as from France, is generally the driest that you'll find. Just so you know, if it says champagne, with very few exceptions, it has to be from the Champagne region of France. Otherwise, it'll say California Sparkling, California Cuvee, something. But there are certain wines that are really old that have said champagne, such as the one that's coming up next, that is allowed to still be called California Champagne. So just know that's where it's at. But Brut is still going to be a little dry. So when you see champagne, you'll see dry and then getting sweeter. Brut is the driest you're generally going to find. The nose on this even smells a little sweeter. It smells sweeter.
It's got more of a bite to it than the J did. Much more of a bite.
Yeah. This, I feel like, even though on the scale, generally, something like a J Cuvée 20 and a Dark Horse Brut would be in a similar sweetness, just with the way that they're made, Dark Horse Brut feels a little drier, but it's got great flavor. It's just a much more drier wine when you go to sip it. Now we're going to try the Dark Horse in a mimosa.
Cheers.
Makes for a good mimosa.
Makes for a much better mimosa because you want that little extra bit of bite to it in a mimosa. Because if you use the orange juice we're using doesn't have a bite.
I would say this is almost a little more potent tasting of a mimosa than the J. I literally think the J is too good of a sparkling. Drink the J. Don't put that in an orange juice.
No, drink
the Dark Horse. That makes for a really good mimosa.
Really good.
This is my new mimosa drink. Okay. Next up, we're going to go to something. I think this could even go a little further to the left on the dry scale. As a matter of fact, they show this in between Brut and extra dry. They're showing this is really dry, so let's give it a try. I've only had this once. Brut Rosé, and Rosé is like the hot craze right now, so if you want to make people happy, make the ladies happy at the party, bring some Rosé. A Barefoot Bubbly, just shameless plug because I know it's the official wine of the New Year's Eve ball drop at Times Square. New Year's Eve, Times Square. This is it. Watch the ball drop. You'll see this all over the place. Let's try the Brut Rosé Champagne from Barefoot Bubbly. Oh, look at that color.
That's beautiful. That's
a pretty light rosé. I wonder how it's going to work with the mimosa. Pretty pink bubbles. All right. I haven't tried this before. Or I think I've tried it once. Let's see. It's got a very berry. You get a lot of berry in that smell. A lot of bubbles. Very carbonated bubbles.
A bite more than the Ballatore.
Oh, yeah. It bites you. It's not as sweet.
It is.
I think they're right.
Drier.
I think this really does go between Brut and extra dry. This is a dry. I've always thought of Barefoot Bubbly as being a little more approachable for everybody. It's a little sweeter. This is a great, flavorful, dry wine. This is just because it's dry, they offset it with the aromas and the flavor. I like that.
I don't, but. Again, I like a lot sweeter.
Let me go ahead and show you.
I don't like the dry.
She's going to like the pink one that's pink Moscato. So, I like dry wine. This is awesome. So, now let's try it in a mimosa. All right, so when you put a Brut Rosé in a mimosa, it still stays pretty yellow. It gets a little darker. It almost gets a little more orange.
It definitely works with the mimosa, with the orange juice. I like that much better than by itself.
Yeah, it's got a lot of bubbles and bite, but it infuses some of that, like, fruit. So, it's very fruity, but it gets a lot of bubbles and bite to it. That's good. I like that. So, that's the Barefoot Bubbly Brut Rosé. Like I said, it's the hot thing in wine right now is rosés. Go pick this up. It's a pretty good bottle. Now, on to one of the most interesting things going on in wine, sparkling wine, all that good stuff. So 2 of the hottest trends in wine right now are rosé, or I guess 3 of the hottest trends in wine right now is rosé, sparkling wine, and wine in a can. What happens when you put the #1 selling wine, sparkling wine, the #1 selling, what happens when you put the #1 selling sparkling wine in a can and make it a rosé? Let's find out. So I showed you how to open a sparkling wine. I showed you how to open a bottle of Andre with the pop top. Let me show you how to open a can of sparkling wine.
Is it really that different?
Just watch.
Wow.
Done. Now, there's 2 different ways to drink this. Unlike sparkling wine, with a traditional bottle of sparkling, you're not just going to drink it out of the bottle. But with a can, there's nothing wrong with just drinking out of the can with a koozie.
It's not bad.
All right, now let's pour it in a glass and see how it compares.
This is another Brut rosé.
Yes, just
Exactly
so you just
like
saw the Barefoot
the
Bubbly Brut Rosé. We're going to compare. Not all Brut Rosés are built the same. So let's see how they compare. The color, it feels a little deeper in color, deeper in hue. It's dry, but I feel like it's a little sweeter. Barefoot Bubbly, but
it is.
But then again, no, it's not sweeter. It's more fruity.
Yeah,
it's still dry.
It's got more of the berry in there.
Yeah, it's still dry, which is awesome. When I first tasted this, I thought it was really sweet. But in tasting this from dry to sweet, this is a dry Brut Rosé. It's a really good Brut Rosé. This thing runs about $4. This is a really good Brut Rosé in a can. So just so you know, a can, it's 500 milliliters. So this is about 2 glasses of wine, a little more than 2 glasses of wine in a can. That's probably about 2.5. So be careful with this. It can sneak up on you.
That's more than a beer.
Oh, my God, yes.
A beer would be half of that can.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's good. Let's try the mimosa. Now
it's a little peachy.
Yeah.
It's a little peachy.
Peachy. That's good.
So good.
That's probably one of the best yet. That's one of the best, like, just sitting out on the patio
really
drinking.
Pull out the fruits.
Yeah, that's a glass of, it's almost like a sangria mimosa. Like when you sit there and put the Andre Brut Rosé in there.
With the orange citrus.
That's good. So that's Andre Brut Rosé in a can. That's about $4 or $5 can. So the next one we're going to talk about is Andre. This is an extra dry. Contrary to what it sounds like, extra dry is actually sweeter or has more residual sugar than a Brut does. So this is probably the one you're most familiar with that you've seen in every store. This is a very affordable wine. The extra dry is kind of one of the ones it's known for. It's also got a really good Brut that a lot of people buy. But what makes Andre unique is it's also very easy to approach and get into. It uses a twist pop cap. So once you take the foil off, you can actually twist it.
Still hold it.
Still hold it. But it actually has a screw cap. So when you get done with it, you don't have to finish it all in one try. You can actually cap it back off and put it back in the fridge. But just don't let it fool you. Just because it's $6.99, $7.99, something like that in the stores, this is a good quality bottle. As we pour it, like I said, this is a little sweeter than what you would see from a Brut. We do have the Brut now actually in a can. We're actually going to be tasting the Brut Rosé in a can here in just a little bit. So as you're out tailgating, if you want a mimosa at the tailgate, there's actually Andre in a can now. You can get you a little thing of orange juice and an Andre in a can, take it to a tailgate. It's pretty cool. You taste the bubbles, though.
You taste the bubbles.
That's good. You definitely tell the sweetness. It's still a dry wine, but it's definitely a lot sweeter than the Brut and the Cuvee 20 that we had earlier.
See, I still like the J. It was just smoother.
But here's my thing. People that say they don't like champagne, I mean, the dark horse is approachable, but if the dark horse is too dry for you, or a Brut, the extra dry, I can sit there and sip this. Once again, this is the one you'll see most out in the crowds, New Year's Eve. This was the last bottle left at the store when I went to go get it. So
everybody's preparing.
If that tells you anything. All right, let's see how the Andre Extra Dry works in a mimosa. Wow. It's definitely got a sweeter taste to it. Using that, it makes the mimosa sweeter.
It definitely, even though it had more of a bite to it than the Dark Horse outside of the mimosa, it actually has less of a bite in the mimosa. It still has a tiny bit one.
It made it a little sweeter. Next up, we're going to Ballatore. It's a Gran Spumante, kind of an Italian style. It's not a Moscato, but let me read the back to you. If you like Moscato, you'll love Gran Spumante. Our Gran Spumante is a delicate, sweet, sparkling wine bursting with the flavors of apricot and creamy peach. On the back, it shows it's right in between the Moscato wines and the Brut and Extra Dry. So if you want the wine that's probably going to please the most people, that the Moscato drinkers be like, man, this is good. But the people that like Brut and Extra Dry are like, you know what? It's a little sweet, but I like it. This is going to tickle that fancy. So let's give this one a try. You can find this one pretty much everywhere. This is like the little unsung hero. Everyone loves it, but nobody talks about it. They also make a Moscato Rosé, which I thought about getting that, but you'll see in a minute we've got a lot of Moscato-based sparkling, so I decided, we'll wait a minute. So the Ballatore Moscato Spumante.
That's very aromatic. Really.
Yeah.
Really
nice.
You
smell the flowers. I mean, this is walking through a garden right here.
The apricot.
That's good. It's got the Moscato taste without the punch-in-your-face sugar.
You can really taste the apricot in there.
Yeah.
That's a really good taste.
Stacy's never had this before. What do you like? What do you think?
I really love this.
I know people that buy this by the case. I'm starting to see why.
That's really good.
You can sit there and drink that all day long. All right, let's try with a mimosa. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. That sweetened it up.
It does. It did. It doesn't have as much of a bite.
No.
But I kind of like it.
Yeah, it makes for a very sweet.
Very sweet mimosa. Just, yeah.
I want to try some. I'm not an expert mimosa maker, so I'm not sure the actual blend. See what happens when you put a little extra bubbles in.
I'll taste first.
Okay.
Yeah, that's got more of a bite. That's actually really good. If you had a little more.
Okay. From now on, it's 2/3 bubbly, 1/3 OJ. Next up is Barefoot Bubbly Moscato Spumante. I remember this thing came out. This was like the first wine that really came out that really just targeted the Moscato drinker.
Oh my gosh, and I loved it.
This is Stacy's introduction to sparkling wine that she really liked. This is probably one of the driest of the sweet sparkling wines that my company sells. So this is Moscato Spumante. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's like the Ballatore Gran Spumante we had earlier. That's a little sweet. This one's truly Moscato, using Barefoot Moscato. I mean, come on. Who doesn't like that? So.
Best wine out there.
Let's give it a try.
In my opinion.
Think. Oh, that's sweet.
That's a lot different than what we've been drinking.
All right, we just crossed the road. Everything we've had up to this point, I would consider traditional wine and taste of a sort of traditional wine. The Ballatore Gran Spumante approached the sweetness of a Moscato and the taste of a Moscato.
It still had the bite of a dry wine.
It was, I think the Ballatore is the best middle of the road.
Yeah.
We just crossed the road. This is sweet. I just got punched in the face with a cube of sugar. Ain't she sweet? Very fruity, though. So, let me tell you what it says here. So, deliciously sweet Barefoot Moscato Spumante, California champagne, bubbles over with hints of mandarin, orange, and tangerine aromas. Moscato champagne is perfect with fresh fruit, sweet desserts, and spicy cuisine. I'll go ahead and tell you, that is something I don't think many people realize. Sweet wine like this, if you're eating like Indian food or real spicy hot wings, there is nothing better that pairs with that than a good, sweet, Moscato, Riesling, pink Moscato, something like that. It pairs awesome. Even with this, eating some hot wings with the Super Bowl and or the big game, whatever you want to call it. Moscato Spumante or any Moscato, you can do this for New Year's with all the hors d'oeuvres. No, I'm not drinking any more of this, but she's downing it. This is good, but now I'm interested. How does it pair with a mimosa? This is really sweet and really fruity. How does a Moscato Spumante go with OJ?
Wonderfully.
It's smooth.
Super sweet.
Super sweet.
It actually brings out the orange.
Yeah, I was about to say, I taste a lot of
Because of that mandarin orange flavor in there, it brings out the orange much more.
This just made like a very sweet, bubbly orange juice. Mm-hmm. That's what this made. This doesn't have that mimosa taste, that alcohol taste. This made
It doesn't have a bite.
There's no bite. This is a sweet and bubbly OJ. Mm-hmm. I like dry wine. I could drink this. This is fine. It's sweet though.
It is sweet. It is very sweet.
Remember what I said? There's people that don't like sparkling. If you don't like sparkling, but you like sweeter wines, this is it. But there's more. Next up is Barefoot Bubbly Pink Moscato.
Champagne.
Sparkling champagne from California. Forgive the bottle. This has been in my wine cellar and got beat up a little bit, but good bottle. This is actually the #1 selling sweet sparkling wine in America. This is it. This is fruit. This is sweet. This is it. But is that really what it tastes like? Let's see. All right. Okay. That's definitely sweeter than the Moscato Spumante.
Much sweeter.
Oh my goodness. That's sweet. But you know what? It's fruitier. Like it's berry. Where the other one had a lot of citrus, this has a lot of berry.
This is really good.
Yeah. Barefoot Bubbly Pink Moscato, surprise and delightful at first sip. Is that true?
Yes.
This Pink Moscato sparkler has aromas of red apples and cherries, complemented by a luscious, lingering sweet finish.
As long as I don't taste the cherries, I'm good.
But that's the berry. That's that berry flavor you're getting.
It's still good.
You know what? It's sweeter than the Moscato Spumante, but I think I would drink this over the Moscato.
Yes.
Just for that little bit of that cherry fruity aroma. It's more approachable.
It is. The pink Moscato has a lot more to offer a Moscato drinker.
Let's top her off for the mimosa.
Mine went peach. Ooh, you get a punch in the face of sweet.
That's sweet. That's very sweet.
That's what I want on Mother's Day.
That's a good mimosa.
And every Sunday. And Saturday. And Monday through Friday.
Makes you wonder. Like, you've tasted all these mimosas. This really is kind of one of the better mimosas right there. I wonder why more places aren't doing this. Like a pink Moscato
it's just
mimosa.
So sweet.
Yeah,
and that's what, when you're drinking a mimosa, that's what I want, is more sweet. I want a sweet mimosa.
That's good.
Because it's sweet, but you still get the bite of it being champagne.
Yeah, but it's toned down with the acidity of the orange juice.
Exactly.
That's good.
That is good.
Yeah. Last but not least, we're going to go to Andre. So Andre has a little bit of wine that appeals to everybody at that like $7.99 price point. All the way from the Brut, the Moscato, they've got Spumante, they've got all the Moscatos. They have Moscato, pink Moscato, strawberry Moscato, pink Moscato, peach Moscato, everything you can think of. I figured we would try the strawberry Moscato. Stacy would have rather had the peach Moscato.
I don't know.
But they were sold out.
I think I like the strawberry Moscato.
Right off the bat with the Andre Strawberry Moscato, you notice this is the pinkest / reddest of them all. I have never had this before. This is Moscato, strawberry,
Oh, you
Andre.
get the strawberry. Holy cow.
Oh, wow.
That's
pure strawberry.
Oh
wow.
God.
Wow.
That is good.
That's delicious.
That is amazing.
Why are y'all not drinking this?
Holy moly, why am I not drinking this?
You need this with a box of chocolates. Like,
Oh my gosh.
like, you know, a chocolate covered strawberry.
No, you don't need anything to go with
Yeah,
this.
you do.
Just
Think about
want to. I just want to drink this whole bottle down right now.
But you think about a chocolate covered strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine if you had like a good rich chocolate.
If you just had a chocolate covered strawberry.
Yes.
And you drank it with this.
Dude.
Oh.
I don't like sweet wine, but this tastes great.
Oh my gosh.
That's good.
This is like a dessert wine. This is dessert in itself. Oh my goodness.
As an outtake. Holy fuck.
How much sugar is this?
A lot.
Oh my god. How much sugar have I consumed in the last hour?
We're not on a diet today.
Obviously.
All right. So, just to say, this is great. I'm really surprised. I've never had this. This is a $7-8 bottle. That's good. Like, I could honestly see Stacy drinking this over most of our other strawberry flavor, like the strawberry fruit Moscato or the strawberry
this beats that
Moscato stuff. Crap. This is good.
With the bubbly added into it, it's so just makes it. It's like a spritzer in itself.
It's a Kool-Aid spritzer.
It's a strawberry spritzer. There you go. Strawberry Kool-Aid spritzer.
That's good though.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's mimosa.
Let's mimosa this. This looks like a grapefruit mimosa.
Oh my god, but it's going to taste strawberry orange.
That's a good mimosa.
That is a good mimosa. You put a couple of actual strawberry pieces in here.
That's good.
It's better than a grapefruit.
That's really good.
It's sweeter than grapefruit. I don't like grapefruit.
On the wine scale, apparently, I like all sparkling wine. Like, I mean, there is nothing I didn't like. On the mimosa front, I think the sweeter it goes and the more fruity,
the better.
Like, it makes for a better mimosa. Like the strawberry Moscato, that made for a really good mimosa.
That's amazing. I would have to say, for me, because I like sweeter wines,
yeah,
I loved all of the Spumantes all the way up to the Ballatore. But then you cut out the dry ones and cut to J, and those would be my favorites. But that's just me because I have such a sweet tooth.
All right, so, yeah.
But, I mean,
if you could do it,
is amazing.
If you don't like sparkling wine, go towards the sweeter side with the Barefoot Bubblies, the Andre Moscato flavors.
Strawberry Moscato.
Strawberry Moscato. They're really good. They're really, really good, and they make a good mimosa.
Mm.
LaMarca is a crowd pleaser for... LaMarca is a crowd pleaser for mimosas, and just drinking by itself is probably one of the best. We didn't taste it here only for the fact that I had a bottle. It had been sitting in the cellar for a little while, and I think it got too hot a couple of times. It wasn't a good bottle. I had messed it up myself. Blame me. It is the best bottle that's all the way around drinking for somebody that likes wine. If you are willing to go that way, J is known as having one of the best sparkling wines in the world. So J Brut Cuvee, or not Brut Cuvee, J Cuvee 20 or J Brut Rosé, amazing. Especially if you get it from the Bubble Room. They've got some awesome stuff in Sonoma. But even all the way down on their California Cuvee, it's truly amazing how much better a wine gets as sparkling wine when you step up to that next level. And if you're not willing to go there, and you don't like regular champagne, go to the sweet side. So, and if you don't like champagne, just put it in a mimosa. It's good.
Cheers.
If you like this video, please check out all of our other videos that you'll find below. Please subscribe. Please click the little bell to be notified when we get new videos. Check out our Facebook. Check out our Instagram. Please share these videos. Subscribers and likes and comments are how we get monetized and make more videos. So please subscribe and click that bell. Thanks for watching. You wouldn't just grab this. And chug it. Oh my God.
You have to put that.
Oh my God.
You wouldn't do that shit.
Oh my God, I'm snorting Andre. Let's start over. Outtakes. So, we figured this was kind of fun. This is the dump bucket we've been dumping all of the champagne and the mimosas into. Stacy has volunteered to drink this thing.
Not the whole thing. Oh my god.
All the way down.
I am sipping it.
2,900 calories. 800 grams of sugar.
No.
Right here. Now, Stacy's going to see what it tastes like. This is a good blend of all the different champagne, sparkling wine, OJ, all that. I'm kind of intrigued. With that said, I kind of wish we had a straw so she didn't have to pick this thing up, but go for it, babe.
Go for it.
The holy chalice. The New Year's chalice.
So it tastes like a Moscato with just a regular Brut.
Yeah? Well,
Yeah.
a mimosa with Moscato.
A mimosa. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry. A mimosa with a Brut.
All right.
It actually, it
Let us
tastes fine.
share the chalice.
It tastes fine. It's almost missing a little bit of the sparkling flavor.
It's a little too orange juice.
Yeah.
A little too much orange juice in there. I think that's because we were pouring more orange juice than sparkling at the beginning.
It's still good, though.
It's still good.
I'm still going to drink
We
it.
can pour that. Chug, 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 chug.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.